Hello once again, race fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour. From the grueling truth where legends speak, I'm Alex Gray, along here with Michael Klein, and we have a third member now joining us, and I'm super thrilled to have him on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Mr. Noah Cornelius joining our group now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be here. Glad to be talking with you guys.
Absolutely,
glad to have you, man.
Awesome. So, yeah,
wow.
we're thrilled to have Noah on here, a great guy. Obviously, you two just hung out in Charlotte, actually, just, earlier this week or into last weekend. You guys have a little story to talk about?
Yeah, so, I went down there for Millbridge, which mind if I talk about that a little bit first?
Please, go ahead.
Went down to Millbridge. Of course, they weren't supposed to have many fans there, but I managed to get a pit pass before they had to cut it off. And, really just had a fun time there. Helped out Cannon McIntosh a little bit. Got to hang out with Chase Cabry and Haley Deegan quite a bit. Rode some pit bikes with them, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And, of course, also got to speak with guys like Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and Chase Briscoe.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Wow.
Real good time overall.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so, I guess now we have to go into the story. Next day, Raja Caruth and Bubba Wallace are having us out at GoPro Motorplex, which Bubba Wallace paid for all of our races, so just want to give him a shout out there.
Yeah.
Super nice dude. I mean, definitely doesn't deserve all this hate he's been getting.
Absolutely.
Not at all.
Yeah. Stand Bubba in this
He also
household.
wished me a happy birthday because, I put on Twitter, I was like, oh, well, I got to do something for my birthday. And then Bubba Wallace retweeted and said, bet. It was a great day.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually the first one there out of all of us. So, I mean, literally, I'm pulling in, and I see him pulling into his parking spot as he's doing that. So anyway, we're supposed to do 5 races. Everyone else did 5 races, but I had to stop at 3 because we get 1 race in. Obviously, I've never been at this track before. I have only been on pavement a few times, so, of course, I'm struggling to kind of get the hang of the track. And then about halfway through the second race, I'm feeling below my waist some sort of, almost frostbite sensation, I guess. I'm thinking, this is weird. Is it this cold out? But as it keeps getting more intense, I'm just thinking, wait a minute. This is burning. This is burning. And I'm thinking, wait, should I get out or something? So I don't know what to do. So I just keep racing. And by the time we get to 2 minutes to go, I'm just in absolute agony. Okay? I am near tears inside my helmet. So at that point, I'm like, no, I'm done. Fuck this. So I pull off. And as soon as I get up, I just think, I need to go to the bathroom and just see what's going on. And as soon as I get there away from the track and I'm in that closed area, the smell of fuel just overwhelms me. And, of course, I look down. My pants are soaked. Turns out there was a loose gas cap on there and was spraying, my groin with hot fuel.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I talked to him after, too. I was like, dude, are you okay, man? And he was like, I think I'm gonna go. I'm like, okay, hang it.
Yeah.
Call me if you need anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't think I left right after that. I think I decided, you know what, I'm gonna have a good one for this race, so I'll just give it one more shot. But no, because my pants are still soaked, right? So the fuel is still touching it, and it's still hurting. Somehow I get to that race, and at that point I'm like, yeah, I'm done here. So, yeah, so I talked to everyone, talked to Bubba, they let me go, which fortunately, next time I go, I'm going to have 3 free races. I still had 2 left, and they gave me 1 free one after that deal. I'm thinking, oh, my, yeah. So, anyway, I'm thinking, oh, my God, is this, am I going to have to go to the hospital? Because, I mean, I'm not kidding. It hurt. The good news is I get to the hotel. I take a nice ice bath. Well, not ice bath, but, just a really cold one.
Yeah.
As soon as I get those fuel-stained pants off and get it off me, I feel completely fine. Like, I literally feel nothing. So I guess I had just enough on me, and it was just hot enough that it burned when it was on, but it wasn't enough to actually leave, like, an impact on that area. So, yeah, that was I guess I lucked out there. So, of course, had to stop by the NASCAR Hall of Fame afterwards and got to check out the Concord Mills Mall, which was awesome.
There you go.
Nice.
Did you go to the Lion store? Because they have, like, an actual in-person place there.
Yes, I did, actually. And you may not know this, but I actually grew up with Ben Rhodes, at Kentucky Speedway. He raced Legends there.
Really?
And of course, I go there, too. That's how we try to get certain racing. And Alex is a fan of him, too, because we're both from the same area.
Yep.
He's from Louisville. We're both from about an hour away. So I actually, and when I go there, they actually had his 2018 truck on markdown to 30%. All 2018s were down 30%. So picked up a couple of those, one for myself, one for Alex, which I'll give to you on Sunday, I guess, Alex. So, yeah.
There you go. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And my birthday.
Right.
Oh, and happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, happy birthday, man. Yeah.
Thank you. My birthday's on the 20th. That was a Christmas baby.
Yeah. But anyway, Concord Mills Mall was awesome. It's definitely way better than, I'm sorry, Alex, but it's way better than the Florence Mall. I mean, it absolutely kicked Florence Mall's ass. So,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Next
honestly, whenever I move down there, I'm going to be going there at least once a week. I mean, they had a full-blown aquarium in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, yeah, Alex, I'm not kidding. The Newport Aquarium, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
They have one of those in the mall.
What the? Man, I tell you what, man.
I can tell you a funny story about that one.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you can go. You're good.
Oh, go ahead, Noah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, well, I can tell you a funny story about the aquarium. So, they have a go-kart track outside of Concord Mills, and it's called the Speed Park. But at one point, it was called the NASCAR Speed Parks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was right outside that?
Yeah, so where the aquarium used to be an indoor go-karting track, 2 stories. You could race on, like, the second level. But for some reason, NASCAR was like, okay, we're no longer sponsoring this. So they took all this NASCAR sponsorship away, and now it's just like a poorly run crap, like, go-kart track. And it makes me sad because I had my 8th birthday there, and all the NASCAR stuff is gone. So the aquarium is cool, but it used to be a NASCAR 2-level go-kart racetrack.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? That reminds me, when I have a lot of family in St. Louis, Missouri. One of the NASCAR speed parks was at the St. Louis Mills Mall, and I used to go there a lot, and I used to run on the indoor tracks and even the tracks they had outdoor. They had an oval and they had a road course as well. So I definitely see what you're talking about. I'm pretty bummed that's gone too.
Yeah, I mean, they still got one in Concord. They still got one in the Smoky Mountains. So, I mean, can't really be too mad at that.
Yeah, I think I drove by it, actually, on my way back.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I didn't stop there because I wanted to get home. Yeah. But, yeah, actually, funny story for both of you guys. The Florence Mall, Alex, I know you weren't here when they had this, but there used to be a store that was nothing but NASCAR diecast. And it wasn't just the winter circle stuff either. It was like the high quality shit. So.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Okay.
That reminds me. When I probably talked about it before, when I used to live in Louisville as a kid, I remember there was a NASCAR store off of the outer loop in that area. I remember. Me and my dad, when we drive around, my dad's like, "Hey, Al, you want to go to the NASCAR store?" I'm like, "Yes, please." And I would end up.
Don't need to ask me.
Yep, I would end up buying these little die-casts for literally like very, very, very cheap. That's where I got some of my die-casts as a kid. Oh God, man, I miss that place so much. I'm pretty sure it's not there anymore, but yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. I love places like those.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, you also have an AMC theater in this one, too, and a Bass Pro, which I'm a bit of an outdoorsman, so that's fun to see.
Yeah. I like Bass Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a Books A Million place. Sorry, there's this place here called Books A Million.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm just walking around looking for the Lionel store. I'm like, yeah, that's the main place I got to check out. And literally right outside the window is just aisles upon aisles of manga, and I just go absolutely nuts. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, definitely. As someone who wants to end up in NASCAR media, whenever I go to Charlotte again, I definitely will go to Concord Mills Mall. That sounds like a fun place.
Yeah, dude.
You have to. Like, if you're a NASCAR fan and you don't go to Concord Mills Mall to, like, even just go to a Lionel store, you're missing out. Like, it's literally on Bruton Smith Boulevard, and when you get on that road, it takes you right to the Speedway. Rick Hendrick's billion, gajillion car stores, car dealerships are just all there. Like, it's literally like the NASCAR strip. And the dirt track and the USHRA drag strip is there, too. Like, they're all right there. So,
in one area?
It's a great experience. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, funny story with that is that before I went to the mall, I drove by Charlotte Motor Speedway, and of course they had their lights thing going on, but I saw it was a pretty long wait, so I was like, nah, I'm just going to kind of drive outside. So I go down this one road, and there's like this vintage race car museum, and so right outside of it is the car from Talladega Nights at the end where Ricky Bobby and John Girard flip. It's a 62 Me car.
Oh, my God, really?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I have the photo.
Wait, I haven't seen that one yet. How have I not? I got to go back.
Oh, let me send it to both of you.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, you might have to.
All right.
Yeah, because I went to Charlotte Motor Speedway one time, but it was the 2006 Coca-Cola 600 when the movie Cars first came out. So I don't remember much about what was around the area. I just remember being at both the Busch and Nextel Cup races at the time.
Right.
Let me see this. Oh, my goodness. That is beautiful. That is so cool.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome to see.
Mm-hmm. I think Noah accidentally might have dropped.
Yeah, he said it disconnected him.
Okay.
All right, let me see if he can try to join again.
Yeah. Because I thought I heard the sound that it makes whenever somebody drops.
Yeah. But anyway, so I go to work, first day back in Charlotte, and as soon as my manager heard that's where I've been, his first words are, "Did you go to the Concord Mills Mall?" So. All right, you back, Noah?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It just booted me out. But, no, that Me car is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, so I guess that kind of wraps up, the trip to Charlotte. So, fun time.
Have you
never
been before?
No, I'd never been there before. I fell in love with the place, dude. Yeah.
Man, I told you when I first met you, I was like, bro, you're not going to want to leave.
I didn't want to leave. I want to go back right now.
I want to join.
Alex, come on, man.
I'll show you all around. I'm fine with that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Also got to stop by Junior Motorsports. Unfortunately, only the retail shop was open. They had a live feed of the shop, so got to check out the Nova he's been restoring because it was right in the camera shot, which was really cool because actually both my parents owned Novas back in their college days. So that's definitely a car that kind of holds. So that's a car that holds some meaning to us.
Mm-hmm. You know
of course, got by the Bell Pro Shop, which, let me just say, Bell Racing Helmets, the customer service there is bar none the best. They do whatever they can to help their drivers out. So if you're a driver and you're looking for a helmet, definitely go to Bell. They have pro shops in both Indy and Charlotte. They'll help you out with whatever you need. A lot of it's free of charge. Definitely go check them out. Also got to check out the Swindell Speed Lab, and also some business that I can't really get into right now, but should be a great announcement when it comes out.
Awesome. Yeah, you bring up visiting JRM. That reminded me of my trip to Charlotte back in '06. I actually, the day after the 600, we actually got to go to the DEI shop and museum. So I got to see, Dale. I actually did see Dale Jr.'s 2004 Daytona 500 car in there. They had all 3 Cup cars on display outside. They had Junior, Truex, and Menard at the time. It was a heck of an experience. I actually remember getting a lug nut from one of Dale Earnhardt's old cars as well.
There you go, man.
Wow.
I've always wanted to get a lug nut. I mean, because everybody's like, NASCAR TikTok, the social media team, they have a literal bucket, not a bucket, it's like a vase full of pit road lug nuts. And somebody asked,
oh, goodness. Sorry. I don't know what happened.
Everything okay?
Everything all right?
sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my phone today.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're good.
Yeah. I'm so used to being on like high-end podcasts that are always like, whatever, like, say this, and don't do that. I'm like, I'm kind of jittery, but nah. Anyways, yeah, no, but I have always wanted a lug nut, honestly. So maybe someday I'll get it.
I can hook you up.
Yeah.
Hook me up, man. Send them my way.
Yeah. I actually, you know what's funny? I just remembered when I had media credentials to the 2019 Quaker State 400, and I guess now it's probably going to be my last memory of Kentucky Speedway. I have a lug nut. I picked it up between Menard and Kyle Busch's pit box. I don't know which driver it came from, but I just remembered that, and I have it around here somewhere.
I hope it's Menard. Because Menard is just great.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I work at a Menard, so I guess I kind of have to hope for that, too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I could assume.
One would assume.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. It was in between his pit box and Kyle Busch's.
There you go.
So, yeah, that sounds really cool, though. I actually now really want to go to Charlotte. so
you have to.
Who knows? Maybe if I don't generally work weekends, so maybe I can sneak down for the 600 or something, depending on crowds and everything. That'd be kind of cool.
Let me know whenever you go, dude, because I will definitely be up for that.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah. Definitely, because I do want to go to races next year. Like, I am ready to go to a crap load of races.
Yeah, I've never been to a single race, so I'm planning on going to the Coke 600, the Roval, Pocono doubleheader weekend. I got free tickets to that.
Awesome.
And I'm also probably going to go to Arizona.
Man, dude, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry, dude, but I do. I mean,
why? Cause
at the same time,
Is it Pocono?
No, dude, just like you've never been to a race.
Oh,
yeah, I thought you were saying like, I feel bad because of the races. I'm like, why? No, but
yeah.
No, man, any race is a race. You know. I mean, you're talking to two people who grew up whose two closest tracks were Kentucky and Indy, so I really don't think we have too much to say with that.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, have you guys been to the Brickyard?
Yes.
One of my
early races. Because I heard people are.
I actually made. Yeah, I actually made my USAC debut at the BC39 last year, which was held with the Cup Series. So.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean. Oh no, you go.
Oh. we always run into this issue a lot. No, I was saying, yeah, I went there in 2005 for the Brickyard 400 when Stewart won. I went there in 2009.
Oh, yeah.
Montoya had that pit road mishap, and then I went there during the monsoon in 2018.
Yep, first memories of that.
Yep. I did get to meet Dale Jr., though, so it all worked out.
And I got to meet Jimmy Johnson.
Heck yeah, man.
That's cool. Yeah, the only driver I've met is Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, and I got to see Ty.
About that.
Yeah, no, dude, that's one of the best drivers to meet, right there.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Plus, he's like
absolutely.
Me, so.
Yeah.
You were talking. You met Jimmy Johnson. Have you met any other drivers?
Oh yeah, I met several of them. Like I said, this past weekend I got to hang out with Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and Chase Briscoe quite a bit. In fact, actually, there's a picture in Victory Lane right now that's been going around. You can actually kind of see me in the middle of that circle with them all talking. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably should have gone to Millbridge. I had a plan that I was going to go to Millbridge on my birthday, and then I was going to interview Ben Rhodes for my podcast, and I was going to, just do all that stuff. But then 3 things happened. 1, Millbridge went down. 2, the podcast got, unfortunately, just horrific racial slurs were thrown at me by one of the co-hosts' husbands. And, I love the co-host, sweet lady, sweet lover to death, but I had to leave the show because, when you get called the N-word 12 times, you don't really want to be around that environment. And then the third thing that happened was that Bubba Wallace asked all of us to go go-karting with Rasha. So, yeah, I was going to go to Millbridge. I'm kind of mad that I didn't because, you said Haley Deegan was there. I've always wanted to meet Haley Deegan, not in that weird kind of obsessive stalker way, just because, she's different. She's different. She's trying to be different, So, but I hope I get to meet those drivers someday. Honestly, it'd be great, but let's see what happens,
Yeah, Haley Deegan's pretty cool. I mean, I know she's been kind of controversial this year, but she is still a good person. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, she's not a jerk by any means.
Yeah,
right.
she's a superstar. Or becoming one anyway.
Yeah.
But I've met all kinds of drivers. I've gotten the pleasure to interview some guys like Tommy Joe Martins. I've gotten to talk to him a lot back in Indy in 2018. BJ McLeod, and obviously on here we've had Vargas, Will Rogers, and some others as well. I have talked to Ben Rhodes at Kentucky Speedway on many occasions. I got to interview him right after his Kentucky win, actually in 2018. I was there in Victory Lane the day after. I got to talk to him, and I remember he told me, winning that race felt like winning the Daytona 500 for me because obviously that meant a lot to him. And I actually did read up. He did talk about, recently with Kentucky being axed from the schedule. He wasn't too pleased about it, and obviously, I don't blame him. That's his home track. He's pretty much feeling what Michael and I are feeling as well. But I've talked to Matt DiBenedetto once. I talked to him about the heat during I think it was 2018, the Quaker State 400. So no, it's really cool meeting these guys and meeting them for who they are. They're not just a bunch of guys who get into a stock car and race every Sunday. They all have unique personalities, and they're all pretty cool people.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, the dream someday is to have, my own show or podcast that I can, bring on multiple drivers, any gender fan, all people, just, because everybody deserves to feel, because everybody deserves to be a NASCAR fan. That's what I want to say. Because, I'm very big on inclusion on the sport. And as a person of color, I'm always trying my best to make everybody feel comfortable. So if I ever get big someday, I'm going to try and have as many drivers on as I can because I just want to meet drivers, talk to them about my ideology, see what they think. I just want to make NASCAR more inclusive for all. So, meeting drivers is really good. Just, that's a really good place to start at because, if you meet the drivers and you get the drivers on the show and people watch the show to watch the drivers, then you're helping more people to, get to the sport. So that's my dream. And so maybe someday it'll happen. I mean, I live right in the epicenter of it all, so I might run into Martin Truex Jr. on the side of the road or something. So who knows? Who knows? You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I personally believe NASCAR is for everyone and for anyone, and I've always believed that. So I'm glad you're pushing that.
Exactly.
I think we all pretty much want to end up working and breathing NASCAR at some point eventually in our lives. So I think it's great that we're all doing this, and absolutely, as you said, getting to talk to all sorts of different people and drivers, I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, and unfortunately, something I do think we need to talk about now because it kind of goes in with that and not in a good way, and there's just been a new update regarding this. So anyone who hasn't heard, Nikita Mazepin, Formula 1 driver for Haas next year, the same Haas who co-owns Stewart Haas Racing, basically videotaped himself groping a woman on his Instagram. And, of course, there's been a lot of outrage over that, which there surely should be. Of course, he posted an apology for that, and unfortunately what we're seeing now, what's going around now, is that he has actually just deleted that apology.
What?
No, the guy doesn't care. He has a history of just not caring, and the fact that you give him a full-time Formula One highest level ride. I don't care if the team's a backmarker. You give him a Formula One, a world-renowned stage, and I don't know how you expect the man to curb his attitude. You've just given him a spot in one of the world's biggest sports. So he's going to run with it. He's going to be like, I'm Nikita Mazepin. I can do whatever I want. This is just not a good look. And I'm kind of wondering, why hasn't he been fired yet? I mean,
because unfortunately his dad is one of the richest people in Russia.
Yeah, it all comes down to money.
Who's his dad?
I think his dad's name is Dmitry Mazepin. He's one of the most rich and corrupt people in Russia. And if you're one of the most corrupt people in Russia, that's really saying something.
Yeah.
Oh, his net worth is $7.1 billion. Okay, that says a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And the worst part is, this is the team based out of America, obviously, and we'd hate to see a guy like this represent our team, basically. Our Formula One team. And again, I think there's other guys. I wish they could just replace him with someone like Pietro Fittipaldi. Obviously he got his big break in those last few races.
American driver, American team. Let's go.
Yeah. We're missing that.
Wait, is Fittipaldi American?
He's Brazilian American.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was born and raised in Miami.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then that counts. No, I'm just really disappointed. If Mazepin, however, I don't even care. If he keeps his ride, Mazepin. All right, yeah. If Mazepin keeps his ride, then this is just a terrible look. Not just for Formula One, but for Haas as a whole. You openly put a man on your team that has no remorse for his actions, in my opinion. Maybe some, but it's not a good look when you delete your apology. This is just a PR nightmare. I mean, we're talking about now. It's not the same team, but we're talking about the same country that Kyle Larson represented, and he got fired for dropping one racial slur. Now, it's bad. That's still bad. I'm not trying to say, it's not that bad, because it is. But if Mazepin can get away with worse, with marginally worse, and still keep his ride, then what kind of look is that for Haas? Yeah. That's just not a good look. I don't care how rich your dad is. That shouldn't make any of your actions okay,
Yeah.
Not a good look.
And actually, just to kind of go in with that too, Nikita also has a history of doing stuff that Larson did. Except instead of Larson, who frankly, that could have just been a single slip-up. It could have been. Nikita's done it repeatedly with terrible context behind it. I mean, there's seriously no excusing that. He has shown zero remorse for that, for anything he's done. I mean, there was just no place for him in the sport.
There isn't. And, I guess it all goes back to greed and getting a big paycheck, but I think at this point you got to ignore that paycheck and go, no, we gotta get rid of this guy. This is a bad look for F1. Especially, F1's pushing the "we race as one" thing, right? And it's just kind of like,
it's a marketing slogan. That's all it is. That's all I'm seeing right now at a Formula One, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's just like, what precedent are you setting? When at what point do you say, okay, at what point does money not matter as much as morals? Like, is there a point where somebody will say, okay, hang on, we know we love the money. We cannot allow ourselves to be dictated by greed. I don't care how much money you're getting. It's such a bad look. What are you teaching young kids, young fans who watch the sport? If you have money, you can get a Formula One ride and you can do whatever you want. You can grow up as many women as you want because your dad's a billionaire. Like, that's not a good look. And I mean, like, I'm okay saying this. Yeah, like, I'm okay saying this. Now, I mean, like, if we didn't know the situation and I'm just tearing apart this guy for no reason, that's different. But we have video evidence. We have the girl, and we've seen repeated behavior from this driver. And that's the saddest thing, that this is, quote unquote, normal. Like, we should not normalize this. Like, no woman should ever be treated in the way that Nikita has treated the women that he's seen in the past. Like, it's just not okay. And I don't know what it's going to take for Formula One to say, no, we do not stand with this, at least for not right. Literally just say, like, as of this year, he will not be racing for us. We're going to do an internal investigation, and if we decide that he's good enough to race, he will be racing and at another time. But right now, it's just not a good time. Why is that so hard,
Right.
Don't let money determine all your decisions. Don't. Exactly. I know you're a business, but what are you teaching people, That's my 2 cents on it. That's my 2 cents.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I think it's just, a lot of that goes back to greed, that people will be willing to accept a paycheck for anything, it feels like, in this day and age. Let me see if I'm going to try and lighten the mood. I know who should replace Mazepin. Mahavir Raghunathan.
Yes.
Lord Mahavir. Let's go.
Yeah, you should see the mask I just got.
Yeah, the Mahavir mask.
Yep.
Dude, what if Mahavir wanted to try NASCAR? Just a random
thought. Oh, my God, no. Okay, well, before we go any further, I just have to ask, are you guys religious?
Yeah,
I'd like to introduce you both to my religion. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We follow the teachings of our Lord and Savior, Mahavir Raghunathan. So.
Amen.
Yeah. It's a sign from God that somebody can be this bad. No, I'm playing.
Yeah.
No, it's hard. Can I just say it's hard driving a race car. When I went to go play Motorplex for my birthday, I was like, I'm gonna do great, and I was like, oh no, I'm driving against Bubba Wallace and Roger Carruth, and to an extent Michael Klein too, and I was like, I'm gonna get my butt kicked. And I did. I was like 15 seconds off the pace.
That's exactly.
Now it got better. I turned it down to like 7 seconds off the pace, which isn't bad, but like no, it takes a lot of skill. But now, I mean, Mahavir shouldn't have that ride. But I'm not gonna say he's a bad driver. But I mean,
right. I am.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. No hate to Mahavir.
I mean, the thing with Mahavir is that, it's one thing if you're actually trying and you're still doing bad. Him, I don't think he was actually even trying.
Yeah. I mean, he cut
the track at Monaco. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you talk about how driving a race car is difficult. I agree. Michael and I went to the name's eluding me. We stopped by.
K1.
We went to Kokomo. K1, thank you. And
K1.
I won't lie. It was a different kind of go-kart. I had never had that kind of go-karting experience, and it was a new learning curve for me. I was like, wow, this is much different. So I learned a lot.
Yeah, no. It was a great time. I didn't know I could do that. Because they were like 50-mile-per-hour go-karts, rear-wheel drive, no tapered, but whatever it's called. So they just go. And I spun out. I'd never spun out in a go-kart before. I thought it was good. Excuse my French, I thought it was hot shit. I was like, yeah, I'm going. And then I spun out and Bubba Wallace passed me and looked at me and he started flapping his steering wheel, laughing. And I was like, oh, man. No, it was a good time.
Yeah. And, I mean, it was different for me, too, just because, I'm used to dirt or, that concrete floor stuff that everywhere else goes. And, the pavement stuff, it takes some getting used to. And I've done it before. I've just not done it here. So you get to these tracks and, it's always a learning curve the first time out. And I took a look at my times, and I was definitely getting better. If I could have done all 6 of them, I would have been pretty good, I think. But, yeah, as soon as I move down there, I'm going to have to stop there more often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charlotte, Concord, Mooresville, that whole triangle area is just fantastic. You cannot go wrong, honestly.
Sounds like heaven.
It really is. And you know what's funny too? I was like, I hate North Carolina, I hate Charlotte, I hate Concord, I'm gonna leave and go to Nashville, and I did. And then I came back to my hometown because of COVID. I didn't have it, but all the colleges were like, everybody go home now. It's like, okay, all right. So we went home, and basically what happened was that I was just so in touch with the NASCAR community because NASCAR was the first sport back, which is a great thing for NASCAR. It's fantastic. I don't think if NASCAR had not been the first sport to come back, I don't think that it would be trending as much as it is amongst casual fans, which is really good. But that's besides the point. The point is, I got really in touch with NASCAR, got really in touch with Twitter, posted my story of being a NASCAR fan online. Bubba Wallace picked it up, retweeted me. We texted a few. We got a connection. He asked me to hang out one time. Then we hung out another time, and yeah, now I'm a NASCAR fan, and I never want to leave the state again unless it's for a vacation. So I took it for granted, but literally I am 45 minutes away from every single racing shop. I got people texting me saying, Noah, can you go to the Lionel shop and pick something up for me? I'm like, okay. It's great. It's great down here. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I think that's really cool that, you're living by all those teams that we always see on TV or at a racetrack, and they're all, bam, right there, Yeah. But seriously, that sounds like a heck of a time, and I'd probably be a lot happier if I ended up down there.
Yeah, no,
oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely felt really at home while I was down there.
Mm-hmm. You were saying, Noah?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm so courteous. I'm always letting other people speak. Yeah, no, it always escapes my mind. People are always like, you're so lucky. I'm like, why? You can be a NASCAR fan too. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's not like the NFL or the NBA. There isn't a team in every state. It's one state. If you want to count small dirt teams and some truck teams that are in Ohio or something, but no, the point is I never realized how good I had it. I am very, very fortunate that I've just been able to just run into drivers, team executives, people have been able to hit me up. Bubba Wallace was just like, hey, do you want to meet? I was like, yeah, sure, where at? He's like, where do you think? I'm like, Concord. He's like, yeah, let's go. And I was like, okay. I had so many, not even just Bubba fans, just people saying, bro, you are so fortunate to be living, like, right there. How have you never been to a race? I'm like, I don't know. I guess, I'm black. I didn't think that I was accepted in that community. And now that I know that I am beyond thankful for my parents deciding to raise me here because I really don't think I could see myself anywhere else, honestly. So.
That's pretty cool, and yeah, you absolutely are accepting, and again, yeah, I think you have a wonderful opportunity to be down there, and I think that's awesome, man. Honestly, we love to be in that situation too at some point.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I know I'm talking a lot, but this is like the last thing I gotta really like say. I put on my Twitter about a few days back. I was like, I will literally sweep the floor for a race team if it allows me to move up. I just want to show what I can do for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy by the name of Off Axis Paints, Greg Stump, great guy, hits me up, and he said,
"Oh yeah, I know him."
And yeah, if you're like a real, like a big, you know him. So like he, homie was like, hit me up. No, I think we might be able to help. And today I went and met with the guy, and he was like, I just need some help around the shop. And I was like, oh, really? Cool. And he was like, and don't think you're doing this for free. I will pay you. And it's like become an actual job for me. I don't know if I've gotten it yet, so I don't want to be like, oh yeah, but you know, like, these opportunities would never happen for me had I not like put myself out there as just another racing fan. And like, it's incredible. If I lived in like Kentucky, he would have never said like, hey, come work for me. But that's the amazing thing of living in Concord and being on Twitter. Like, NASCAR Twitter is one of the most incredible places, but it's also just a very turbulent place. But it can be used for really good things, you know, like Lefty getting picked up by Jimmy Johnson, me getting picked up by Bubba and Off Axis. Like, it's just a great place. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, social media is how I've gotten in touch with all the race teams I've worked with.
Yeah, same here. I've gotten to know a few guys just because of social media. And we talk about... Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go. It's y'all's show. I want y'all to talk.
Oh, you're good, man. I think the last thing I wanted to bring up, too, was Jarrett Iceberg just came out with a video earlier today about, we talk about NASCAR being the first sport back. NASCAR's trending. But I feel like, and I agree with him when we say we're missing the sponsors. We can no longer have sponsors be a bunch of stickers on a car. When we were kids, obviously, there were all sorts of funny NASCAR commercials from Nextel and Budweiser and Napa. And, I could probably name several more. And I feel like NASCAR is kind of missing that, sponsors should try and, like, what Busch Beer does. Like, being able to engage more, especially during these days, with fans and, the drivers presenting themselves a little bit more to a casual race fan. Like, it would be cool to see Chase Elliott do a funny NASCAR just off the top of my head. We've seen a lot of major sponsors like Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, UPS, Kellogg's, and now it looks like PepsiCo, which is a real bummer, and Miller Lite leave the sport. So it's just something to bring up as well.
Yeah, I don't really know how to say this. We're just losing sponsors. We've gained some good ones. Bubba Wallace, just by being a great person, has brought in so many sponsors. And I feel like, and I know I'm biased, but that should set the precedent. Like, people should look at Bubba Wallace, like drivers and executives should look at Bubba Wallace and say, this is how we, I don't want to say save NASCAR because it's not like it's dying, but it's, you know what I mean. Like, this is how you save NASCAR. You put on a good, presentable face for investors, sponsors. You stand up for what's right. You're not afraid to stand up for the little guy. You're not catering to your stereotypical redneck Southern demographic. Like, imagine if football, or no, imagine if the NBA, which is like 88% black, only catered towards black people. White people would be like, okay, what reason do I have to watch this? It's like it's clearly only for one demographic. How can I relate to this? I mean, obviously you have some that are like, okay, I like this anyways. I don't really care what it thinks. But not everybody thinks like that. And like growing up biracial, like half black, half white, getting back into NASCAR has taught me, like, I'm a rarity. Just because I'm black and I like NASCAR doesn't mean other people will look at the sport and say, oh, it's accepting. Because NASCAR, unfortunately, still has a ways to go. And you can't really educate. You can't tell your fan base what to believe in. You can't tell your fan base how to act. So it's kind of hard. But, like, everybody should be looking at Bubba Wallace and saying, wow, that man can attract sponsorships. And you could say it's because he's black, or you could say it's because he's a good person who stands up for the right things. More drivers need to openly stand up, learn, get educated on the situations in America, and do the right thing, because that's how you save it. Investors will invest in someone that, A, is for everybody, and B, brings the money. So that's how we get NASCAR back. Like, pushing back the number on the car to give more sponsorship space does nothing if sponsors do not want to sponsor the sport. That's my hot take.
Yeah, I actually agree. I don't like the idea. Like, if you want to do that for the All-Star race, fine, but I don't like that idea doing it permanently. And I agree. Obviously, that's another thing. 23XI announcing that they got their sponsors lined up already. They got McDonald's, DoorDash, Dr. Pepper, Root Insurance, and Columbia. And yeah, I agree. I think that sets a precedent for a lot of teams and a lot of drivers moving forward.
Yeah, I can't stand the idea of that becoming the permanent thing. I mean, of course, I'm sort of a traditionalist when it comes to this, so I like that number right on the door. So.
Oh, I think a lot of fans feel the same way.
And honestly, with how many sponsors you have nowadays, I mean, fans are going to identify with the driver more by their number than their sponsor now. So, if you're moving that number back to where it's maybe less visible, then yeah, that's not doing them any good.
Right, it's not, man.
I mean, it used to be that you could identify someone simply on their sponsor, but those days are way gone. Just because now teams need multiple sponsors to get through a year for the most part.
Yeah. I remember, I think when Griff Dog had his old Griff Talks video, he talked about that. Back then it was like, Rusty Wallace, he drives the Miller Lite car. Jeff Gordon drives the DuPont car. Dale Earnhardt drives the GM Goodwrench car. Now it's, Chase Elliott drives the Napa Hooters, Sun Energy, UniFirst, Kelly Blue Book Chevrolet. And I agree. I think the numbers are very important, and I think that's a traditional thing that we need to keep, obviously. I was going to say something else, but I completely forgot what it was. Dang it.
Hey, it might come to you. You can think a little bit. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
I actually want to say this. I'm really excited for this upcoming season, especially after they announced a vaccine. I know it's a hot topic, and it's not, for me, it's not a political thing. Like, I just hope it works. That's all I care about, because I got dudes who are like, hey, when we get fans back to the race, you can come as my guest, and we'll give you free tickets. And I'm kind of banking on that, because I got a podcast I'm starting up. Yep. Hey, that's the big announcement I'm coming out with. I'm starting my own show.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, like,
please.
I'm really hoping and praying that everything works, because I really am trying to get back to a race, and I'm pretty sure that everybody is trying to. So, whatever happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's wonderful.
All right, anything else we need to go over? Or?
Oh, man, I think that pretty much covers everything we talked about. I felt like we had a lot to talk about today, which is pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if I spoke too much. I just kind of took the mic and ran with it a little bit there. So.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah, you're welcome on here anytime.
Yeah, I love talking about the sport. I know that I'm part of like the next generation of fans because like I'm a person of color and I need to help bring more people like me to the sport because there's only one way that NASCAR progresses. We got to make sure that it's good for everybody. So whatever happens, right?
Mm-hmm. And go ahead, Michael.
I just said right. I'm just agreeing with you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad NASCAR is finally pushing away from a stereotype that has been plaguing us for a very, very, very long time. So, and they're going to continue to push out to anyone because, again, this sport is for everyone and anyone.
Right. And I'm glad you guys think that. I feel like more media attention needs to be put on people that are accepting. So often you hear bad stories like, unfortunately, Jason Bean, like stuff that he said on social media. Like people are quick to say, look at how racist NASCAR is because of this one person. They need to do a better job of highlighting people like Bubba Wallace. Because if you get more good that outweighs the bad, then you make this sport into what it's meant to be. A place for everybody to come, watch cars go fast, maybe flip a little bit, get some cool merch, rep your favorite sponsors, live for capitalism and stuff like that. Like, because when you're a NASCAR fan, you sell your soul to the brand, and it's a fun time. We just need more of that, and I believe that we can somehow get there. But we just gotta keep the faith, keep doing what we do. But I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful.
It kind of reminds me of that NBC stuff they pulled 15 years ago. I'm not sure if you've heard about that.
I don't think I have.
Okay, so basically what happened was they wanted to do a story on basically racism in NASCAR and how it runs rampant. So what they did was they sent several Muslim Americans to a race at Martinsville to try and see what the crowd reaction would be. And it sounds like they were almost kind of anticipating the negative reaction to, vilify the sport that way. But to their surprise, absolutely nothing happened. Not one incident. Yeah. And that's really what kind of, I think, helped lead to the original split between NASCAR and NBC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
But I'm hopeful for the sport. I think that with people like me who are very passionate about the sport, it might really help it go far, but it's all going to happen in time. But I think that I can do. With what happened with me over at Off Access today, I feel like it's a really good opportunity for me. I could help get a platform. I can't exactly say what I'm doing over at Off Access yet, but I mean, it's just a really good opportunity. So I'm hoping that all these connections I make within NASCAR, I can bring them on my podcast, or I can strengthen those connections. Whatever happens, happens,
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, certainly hoping for the best of you on that.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, I actually have to run, but I hope that I'm not cutting the show short in any way.
Not at all. You're good.
I just, my mom and dad, my mom's a doctor. I got to go check up on her real quick. So you know how it is. But
gotcha.
I'd love to come back. Like, call me anytime. I love talking podcasts. Like, I love going on stuff, talking about NASCAR, trying to show people that, hey, people of color can be NASCAR fans, But,
of course.
But yeah, guys, it's been an absolute blast. I'm going to run. I'll let you guys do your outro if you have one. Or, yeah.
Thank you, Noah. Take care, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, see you, bud.
Have a great night, guys.
You too. Yep. All righty. So that will wrap things up here on the Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour. Again, special thanks to Noah Cornelius for joining us. It's a blast having him on. And from Michael Klein and myself, Alex Gray, we're signing off. We'll see you next time, and have happy holidays.
Bye!